Alrighty, folks, we are going live, and I am Tanya Smith. I am super excited to be here with you. It is Friday, and today is January 11th of 2019, believe it or not. So we are already well into the throes of the first month of a new year, almost halfway through. And my question for you is this. Have you noticed that there are certain brands on Instagram stories and Facebook stories that are really intriguing? They capture your attention, they make you excited about coming and checking them out, and you want to see what's coming up next? Well, I have noticed that too, and part of the reason I think is because they have spent the time to really build creativity into their strategies. So, what we're going to talk about tonight over the next 10 to 15 minutes will be three of the strategies that I've seen that make these brands pure genius. So if you're ready, walk with me and let's get started. Alrighty, folks, first of all, let me just assure you that I am actually here live. I'm in my own personal studio. Tonight, we're not doing our fancy green screen and a bunch of other fancy stuff because I want to show you kind of a quick demo and show you a couple of things on screen from an article that I was reading the other day. So I have been really researching social media stories, specifically the ones that fall within the Facebook and Instagram space. Although, I don't know if you know this, that YouTube also has stories, and Snapchat actually is the original founder of the stories format for social media. It's just that it seems for marketers and for businesses, many of us are flocking more to the Facebook and Instagram story platform. So I see that there are a couple of people watching, and I want to say hi. If you're live with me right now, just wave with an emoji or give me a like or a thumbs up. And if you're watching via replay, just type in the hashtag replay so that I know that you're here watching with me in a replay session. So I came on last week kind of introducing stories, and if you missed that particular video, feel free to go back because I have these stored inside of the videos tab on Facebook, and if you're watching on YouTube, you can find these in my YouTube playlist for social media stories for business. And so what we're basically doing is covering for you as marketers, as entrepreneurs, as coaches, health and wellness, business owners, anyone who's in those different fields and circles of influence that I hang with. If you're in those circles, then you'll find that stories have become really another way, an alternative way for you to get your point across, for you to share your brand, for you to create awareness and to generate leads for your business. So you can literally drive people using a marketing funnel through stories to pay for your products and services. So if you want to learn a little bit more about that, be sure to go back and watch last week's video. I'm going to be checking to see if there are any questions that pop up as we go tonight because like I said, I'm actually here live. I know some people question that sometimes because they're like, wow, it just looks too put together. Well, that just, comes from my type A personality. I can't help that. I like things structured and I like things to look professional. But I am right here. So if there's something that you have a question about or a comment on, let me know. So I promised I would talk a little bit about the three stories, these genius brands that I've seen, and give you some ideas using examples, using those particular brands as examples for you. And I hope that you would, oh my goodness, I see a couple of hands here. Virginia Jen, Ellen Fritz, Ellen, mwah, mwah, mwah. My first hugs and kisses for the year for 2019. Marcia Baker, it's so good to see all of you. You are just my heart. So thank you so much for showing up. And I hope that I can give you some really good stories tips. So if there's anything you have a follow-up question on, as always, I will answer. Just let me know here in the comments. Okay, so let's talk about these. Now, I will tell you where I got these from, and I'm going to show you an article that you can go to and read more. Because I like to keep these live videos very brief and snack size, I'm not going to go through all 10, but I actually found an article and I will share it with you in just a second, but it's called 10 amazing Instagram stories examples. And so I've pulled 3 of them for very specific reasons that I'll talk you through. So the espresso.com website is where I actually found this article. Ad Espresso is sponsored by Hootsuite, and some of you may be familiar with that platform for social media scheduling, so scheduling your post. But they shared last year an article that really kind of was cool because it pulled out examples of different stories that really work for brands. And what I mean by that is what we can get in the habit of doing with platforms like this, especially if we're new to it and we're kind of testing things out. And if you're an entrepreneur like I am and you don't have a large team, well, our research and development is us experimenting. It's not, hey, I'm going to assign this team to go do this for me and I'm spending X amount of dollars for them to come back with some results. It's you and I actually getting on that platform and kind of testing it out and seeing what works and what doesn't work. And so what I often find is whenever there is some type of new platform like that, is that you can kind of you can fall into a trap of doing things the wrong way and kind of setting yourself up for failure instead of success. So it's always good to have examples and to see creative ways that you can model after another brand where the stories or that model is working for someone else, right? It doesn't mean that you're copying exactly, because you're always going to put your own personal spin to it, but it does mean that you have an opportunity to really leverage the creative ideas that you see from that model. So I'm going to share with you 3 different brands that I thought in this article really stood out to me, and I'll share with you why and kind of give you some ideas that you can kind of test out using stories. Now, specifically Instagram stories is still where most of the features are, but from what I'm hearing from one of my mentors, Mari Smith, it sounds like Facebook is going to really be amping up their stories features this year. So be looking for additional things to happen. It seems like there's something every week, which is one of the reasons why I'm probably going to be starting a new trends program each week too, like a 5 to 10 minute recap of something new that's happening in stories, because I think that might be helpful for you too. If you think so, give me a heart so that I'll know. I'll look in the feed and see if that sounds of interest to you. All right, meanwhile, let me find this real quick here. I'm going to pull up my screen. I'm looking real quick to see if we have any comments or questions. Not just yet. Okay, so let's go into, I'm going to dive in and show you the article, okay, and show you where you can find this article. So this article, as I mentioned, is in Ad Espresso by Hootsuite. So I will put the exact link, excuse me, I'll put the exact link into this video description for you, but here it is right here up top. And so it's called 10 Amazing Instagram Stories Examples. Now, the ones that I want to pull for you, first of all, I want to pull Daily Harvest, which is going to be number 1 in this article. And I'll share with you why. But before I do that, I think this little snippet from the article is really crucial. So it's talking about 4 crucial questions you have to answer when writing your Instagram story headline. This means, when you think about the headline, that means whatever text you're putting into your story, you want to think through that and be strategic just like you would with any other platform, okay? So it's not just about us taking a quick selfie, doing some fun, funky things with characters and emojis and GIFs and all of that stuff. That's fun. But if we're going to be more strategic and intentional about using social media stories for business, I love these 4 crucial questions. So is this useful? Do people see the value in it? Is this unique? Does it promise a unique benefit? Is this urgent? Does it lead the audience to act now? And then finally, is this ultra specific? While the instructions don't include facts or statistics, here's what we're going to talk about with this Daily Harvest. So let's break this down using Daily Harvest as the first example. What I thought was kind of cool about this particular article is that they show you the stories using kind of some animation, if there was animation to the stories. So Daily Harvest, as it mentions, delivers unprocessed foods in convenient frozen forms. And what was cool about this is basically it talked about the idea that you want to give answers and keep it short. Okay, now I'm all about snack sizing and making things short and concise and easy to consume. So I absolutely loved this brand. I love this Genius Story example because It's about making sure that you're giving people something quick that they can go through. That's the reason why a lot of people are starting to flock to stories. And I gave you some statistics last week about people moving off of the news feeds and onto stories in Instagram specifically, but also it's starting to be seen in Facebook too. So look at this example that they're showing, and I want you to notice something. Notice how short the titles, the headlines are. Of course, there's some verbiage down here at the bottom, but you can quickly read through and see that they're talking about soups, harvest bowls, parfaits. You can see exactly what it is that they deliver to your door. And you're not sitting there and reading it. You're scanning and getting a quick, you're consuming the information quickly and getting it and knowing exactly what the benefits are. So if you break down those 4 crucial questions, their question was, is this useful? And the answer is yes, it's valuable. Superfood eats, which they do highlight that terminology in here. It's part of the main description right there for the story. Notice that. Is this unique? Does it promise a unique benefit? Yes, because they allow you to build your own personal box, which is different from some of the other similar types of box meals that we're seeing lately. Is this urgent? Does it lead the audience to act now? Yes, because it's a fast, convenient service that you can enjoy in seconds. And then finally, is it ultra specific? It says, yeah, because they offer a detailed menu and very clear instructions for action. So all of that you're able to find right here inside of their story. I don't know why it's not letting me. There we go. You're seeing all of that right here inside of the story so that you know exactly what to do with it and what differentiates them. This is one of the reasons why I thought this was a genius brand, and this was my very first story example that I had to share with you. So if you saw anything else in that story that you thought kind of caught your eye and you can see yourself using it in your own business, then leave me a comment and let me know how you see that particular tip being useful. And it's all about sharing short, targeted answers to questions that people might have about your brand. So that's number 1. And let's see, the second one I wanted to share with you, I believe is going to be Hopper. Yeah, Hopper. So Hopper is basically, let me show you. I need to pull it back up again real quick here. Get it on there. All right, so Hopper is number 6, I believe, here in the group. And please feel free to go through all of these different posts and you'll get a lot out of this. But Hopper offers an easy to get reward. So interactive content is quickly gaining traction. I would say that's absolutely true. So people are loving the idea of contests, quizzes, and calculations. And as a matter of fact, in stories, you can actually ask questions. So you can present, there's a questions feature that's now available. There's also a poll feature. There are ways that you can get people to engage. So the reason why I picked this as another genius story brand is because I loved, just as they said, that they're offering a tantalizing reward. So offer people something in return for them swiping or reading through your stories. What is it that you can offer them? In this instance, they did the swipe up and save up to 40% on your next flight, right? And so when the person swipes up, they get that coupon. They also are then taken to additional information about the company. So I love the idea of trading something of a benefit, giving someone a giveaway or a gift or a reward in some way for taking an action that you specify in your story. So if you think that you can only use that in the larger, regular, traditional landing page, now you see an example of how you can use this right inside of a story. So I love that and had to give that one as a secondary example. Now my third one, I believe, is number 9 in this article. Yes, it's Shine. And Shine is actually a fashion Instagram. There we go, Instagram brand. So they're a women's fashion brand. And here's what it talks about in number 9. It says, if you got a lot to show, highlight your story. So the reason for this and the reason why they have this whole idea of highlighting your story is because as a women's fashion brand, they have a lot of different clothing to select from. And so just imagine if there's a season, like in this particular this particular story that you see, they're flipping through a series of new swimsuit prints. So imagine in your own business, if there's something that's seasonal or something that's right for right now, and you have a lot of different versions of it, then this gives you a way to not only post your story, but what they're talking about is also using the highlights feature. So let me talk about that a little bit with you. I think I kind of mentioned this before previously, but in Instagram specifically, not yet in Facebook. I know, again, Facebook's going to be expanding their features. They really need to pick up the pace. Let's get it on. But in Instagram, there's an option for you to be able to do something called highlights. And what highlights will do is they extend the life of your story. So where you might put your story up and it's only up for 24 hours, what you can do then later is you can say, okay, I'm creating a highlight and it's only going to be a highlight of all our newest products. So it's going to be a highlight with our new products. And so then what you're going to do for the week, for example, is you might say, these are my new products for the week. You're going to go back and pull in a story from each day of the week that you've posted. That's a new product for that week. And you're going to pull them all into a highlights feature so that people can then go back to the highlight and just get a quick scan of everything that's new that's coming, right? And that's just an example. But what I'm saying is you have the ability to be able to categorize different themes. So whatever that theme might look like for your business, that's a genius move when it comes to using stories and then using the highlights feature to pull similar items, similar products and services or themed goods together. All right, let me double check and see if we have any questions. My friend Virginia said, awesome. I love this. I love it too. I think this is so creative. And honestly, I had kind of put stories down a little bit and then realized, you know what, this is really an awesome way to creatively express yourself and your brand. So why not pick it back up and start over? And so I've been doing some things like using Sneak Peek, which is another cool way that you can actually showcase your brand. If you have something that's popping up, you can use the sneak peek, which you'll see on a story that I did this week. In fact, I'll have to pull it into highlights, but you'll see a story that I did this week, did a sneak peek where basically it hides everything except for what you want to kind of erase and show. So think about how you can possibly use that. Like you only give a portion of the information because people are so curious, they want to know more. And you just tell them in the story where to go to get the full sneak peek of everything, not just a little bit, but they can see the rest of whatever it is that you have that you're kind of hiding from them. So lots of really good ideas, and I will share that Ad Espresso post for you in the comments. I sincerely appreciate you as always coming out. I will share with you really quickly that I'm going to be speaking in Daytona Beach at the Beach Camp 6, and I am super excited about joining my friend Kelly McCausey and also Nicole Dean. So I'll share the link to that event because it's not too late. It is a ladies only retreat. Sorry guys, but a ladies only beach retreat that's coming up April 12th through the 14th. So I hope that you will join us there. And also I will invite you to come back. If you're not already subscribed so that you never miss a post, make sure that you are following on our fan page at Facebook at Tanya Smith Online, and also following us on YouTube as well at Tanya Smith. So again, it's been my pleasure to kind of hang out a little bit with you this evening. I'm getting ready to go order some pizza and hang out with my family and just take a little break and a little breather before the weekend begins and we hit the soccer fields. What are you doing for the weekend? Let me know in the comments what you've got and you're excited about coming up this weekend. It has been super fun and it's now time for me to go, but I will be back next week and you are invited to join us to learn more and more about social media stories for business every week right here. I think that's it. I'm Tanya Smith. This has been Mindfully Marketing and thank you so much for watching. Have a good weekend.